Ladies and gentlemen, friends and fellow dreamers, today is a testament to the power of change, to the strength we all have to rewrite our own stories. In a world that constantly moves forward, there's one thing we all need to understand. Progress is not something that happens over a long stretch of time. No, sometimes all it takes is one moment, one decision, one leap of faith. What if I told you that in just one day, you could see the kind of progress that others might say would take 10 years? Would you believe me? Would you believe that the power to make that shift is within your grasp right now? Let me tell you something. That day has arrived, and you, each and every one of you, are standing at the crossroads of something far greater than you can imagine. Let me tell you something. Progress begins the moment you decide, and I don't mean just thinking about it, not just talking about it, not just dreaming about it. I mean the instant you make up your mind and commit to moving forward, that's when it all starts. So let me ask you, what's been holding you back? What's that thing that's been keeping you stuck, standing still, wondering when your breakthrough is going to happen? Maybe it's fear, doubt, or the belief that you need more time, more resources, more something, anything to push you to the other side. But here's the harsh truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. There's never going to be a moment when everything lines up perfectly. You won't wake up one day and have all the answers. You won't find a time when everything falls into place and life just opens up for you. You've got to create that moment yourself. Too often we get stuck in a cycle of what ifs and one day. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? One day I'll be ready. One day I'll have everything I need to succeed. But let me tell you something, one day never comes. That's just the truth. The longer you wait for the right time, the longer you delay the change you're seeking, the longer you tell yourself you're not ready, the more time you waste standing still. Progress doesn't wait for perfection. Progress waits for action. You see, success isn't about waiting for some grand moment to arrive. Success isn't about waiting for things to line up perfectly. It's about deciding to take the first step, even when you don't have all the answers, even when you don't feel ready, even when everything around you feels uncertain. You have to be willing to move anyway. That's where the power of intention comes in. The moment you decide that you're going to take control, the moment you decide you're no longer waiting for something to happen, that's when the magic begins. You might feel like you're standing on the edge, looking down at what seems like an impossible drop. It's scary, it's uncertain. But let me tell you something, that first leap, that first step is what separates the people who move forward from the people who stay stuck. You can stand on the edge your whole life, staring at the unknown and let fear hold you back, or you can take that leap and trust that the net will appear. It's in the jump that you learn to fly. It's in the action that you start to build the life you want. The power of intention, of making that decision to move forward, can change everything. And that change doesn't have to take years. It can happen in one day if you make the decision to take that first step. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey. She didn't get to where she is by waiting around for the perfect moment. She didn't get to where she is by thinking, one day I'll be ready. She decided, from a humble, challenging beginning, she decided to take action. She wasn't handed resources. She didn't have doors just opening for her. But every single day she showed up. She decided that no matter the obstacles, no matter the setbacks, she was going to move forward, one step at a time. That's what separated her from so many others. It wasn't just about talent. It wasn't just about what she had. It was about her unrelenting decision to take action. And look at what that decision did. Look at the empire she built from nothing. That's the power of intention. The decision to show up every day, to keep moving, to keep pushing no matter how hard it gets. When you have the power to decide, to make that commitment to yourself, everything else follows. The doors will open. The opportunities will show up. The roadblocks will still be there, but you'll have the strength to keep going because you made a decision. You decided to move forward no matter what. So I want you to think about this. What would happen if today you made the decision? What if today was the day you stopped waiting for the perfect moment and started acting? What if today you decided that you were ready, even if you didn't have all the answers? The truth is, you don't have to wait for everything to be perfect. You just need to decide that you're ready to move. That's the power of intention. When you commit to your vision, when you decide that you're not waiting anymore, the doors will open. You'll find your way. You'll stumble, sure, but you'll be moving forward. And that's how you begin to make 10 years of progress in one day. It's about taking action, not waiting for things to be perfect, not waiting for someone else to give you permission to move. It's about deciding that this is your time, right now, today. So take that first step. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be flawless. It just has to be a step forward. When you do that, when you decide to act, you're not just changing your future, you're creating it. You're making that future happen right now. And trust me, that first step will set you on a path that could change everything. It won't take years. It won't take decades. It starts with one moment, one decision, and that decision is yours. The only question is, what are you going to decide? Let me tell you something. Your mindset, your way of thinking, is what will determine how far you go in life. It's not the circumstances, it's not the situation you were born into, it's not even about the setbacks you've faced. What defines you is the way you choose to think about yourself, your potential, and your future. Look, life is going to throw all kinds of challenges your way. It's going to test you, challenge you, break you down at times, but the difference between those who rise and those who fall is in the way they think about it. You see, a person with a winning mindset can take 10 years of struggle, 10 years of hardship, 10 years of disappointment, and turn it into a single moment of victory. And on the other hand, someone with a defeated mindset can waste 10 years waiting for something to happen, waiting for things to line up perfectly, waiting for someone to give them a reason to keep going. But here's the question I want you to think about. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your own potential? Are you someone who looks at a challenge and thinks, that's it, I can't do it? Or are you someone who looks at the same challenge and thinks, this is my moment, I will rise above this? You've got to decide, because your mindset is everything. If you believe that your past mistakes define you, if you believe that the things you've failed at make you a failure, then you are already limiting yourself. You're already telling yourself that the best years are behind you. You're holding yourself back. Your past is just that, your past. It doesn't define who you are. It doesn't determine where you're going. But the longer you hold on to those mistakes, the longer you let them define you, the longer you allow that defeated mindset to take control, the longer you're going to stay stuck. You've got to shift your mindset. You've got to take control of your own narrative, because nobody else can do it for you. You have the power to decide who you are, who you will be, and what you're going to do with your life. I want you to think about someone like Thomas Edison. Now, we all know about him, right? He's the guy who invented the light bulb. But what most people don't realize is that he didn't just invent it in a couple of tries. He failed more than 1,000 times. That's right, 1,000 times. Can you imagine that? After failing 1,000 times, most people would have thrown in the towel. They'd have been like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe this just isn't meant to be. But not Edison. Edison saw every failure as a lesson, as a stepping stone, as part of the process. It wasn't the failures that defined him. It was his belief that failure was just a part of the journey. Now, most of us, when we fail, we get discouraged. We think, that's it, I'm done. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not lucky enough. But let me tell you this, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. It's through failure that we learn, that we grow, and that we become stronger. Edison didn't let his failures define him. He used them. He took every failure and turned it into something greater, something bigger. And that's the mindset you need to have. You need to start looking at failure differently. Instead of seeing it as the end, You've got to see it as the beginning. You've got to fail forward, meaning you learn, you grow, you adjust, and then you move towards something even greater. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of not learning from it. Be afraid of not getting back up after you've been knocked down. Because if you keep moving forward, there's nothing that can stop you. Your mindset is what allows you to see every setback as a setup for a comeback. It's what helps you see every struggle as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to evolve. And when you have that mindset, you can take what seems like 10 years of failure and turn it into one moment of triumph. I need you to hear me clearly. You are not your mistakes. You are not the setbacks, the disappointments, the losses you faced. You are who you decide to be, and you have the power to decide right now. You have the power to change the way you think, the way you approach life, and the way you move forward. So, I want you to ask yourself this. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a person capable of greatness? Capable of overcoming anything that comes your way? Or do you see yourself as someone who is defeated? Someone who's too far gone, too broken to succeed? The choice is yours. But I'm telling you, you've got what it takes. You have the ability to shift your mindset, to break free from the chains of your past, and to create a future that's greater than you ever imagined. It won't be easy. You'll face obstacles, you'll fall. But if you keep moving forward, if you keep pushing, if you refuse to let your mind tell you no when your heart says yes, then nothing will stand in your way. Because a winning mindset is not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to keep going even when you don't. It's about having the faith to believe in yourself even when no one else does. And it's about the refusal to let failure define you, but instead using it as fuel to push you further than you've ever gone before. So get your mind right. Decide today that you will take control of your narrative. Let your mind be the force that drives you to success. Because when you do, there's nothing that can stop you. And you'll find that 10 years of struggle can become one single moment of victory. You know, life doesn't give us all the answers right away, and it sure doesn't hand us a straight path to success. We all want things to go according to plan, right? We want to know exactly what's coming next, and we want to be prepared for it. But that's not how it works. The truth is, the road to progress is anything but straight. It's filled with bumps, detours, and moments where you feel like you're completely lost. You're not always going to know exactly where you're headed, and that's okay. But the key to moving forward, to achieving real progress, lies in your ability to adapt. Adaptability is the secret sauce that separates those who make it from those who don't. It's the ability to roll with the punches, to keep moving even when things don't look like you expected them to. And let me tell you, if you're waiting for life to hand you all the answers, if you're waiting for everything to make sense before you take action, you're going to be waiting forever. Most people give up because they think they're supposed to have it all figured out right from the start. They think they need to know exactly how every move will play out. But let me remind you of something. You don't need to have all the answers today. You don't need to know exactly where the road will lead. What you need is the willingness to be open, to be flexible, to adapt to whatever comes your way. Take Steve Jobs as an example. Now, we all know about his success, but we don't always remember where he came from. In 1985, Steve Jobs was fired from the company he founded, Apple. Imagine that. You create something, you build it from the ground up, and then you get kicked out of your own company. It looked like the end of the road for him. His career, as most people would see it, was over. But instead of giving up, instead of throwing in the towel and accepting defeat, Jobs did what a lot of people don't do when they face failure. He adapted. He didn't fold under the weight of his setback. Instead, he turned his attention to other ventures. He invested in Pixar, the company that would go on to change the world of animation and bring us films like Toy Story. That decision to step away from Apple and dive into something new wasn't just a random move. It was an act of adaptability. He didn't let the failure define him. He learned from it, grew from it, and used it to build something even greater. Then, a few years later, he returned to Apple, a company that had struggled without him. And with everything he learned, with all the experience he had gained, he transformed Apple into the powerhouse it is today. Jobs didn't just adapt in the moment. He took what was uncertain, what seemed like a complete failure, and turned it into the foundation for an empire. That's the power of adaptability. It allows you to take an uncertain moment, a moment that feels like the end, and turn it into an opportunity for something greater. So what if you could do the same? What if today you decided to stop fighting against the changes, to stop resisting the uncertainty, and instead embraced it? What if you allowed yourself to adapt, to be flexible, to try new things, even when you don't have all the answers? Imagine what that could do for you. Imagine how much growth, how much progress you could make if you stopped waiting for everything to be perfect and just took the leap. What if today you stepped into the unknown and trusted yourself enough to adapt, knowing that the journey will lead you exactly where you need to go? I know it's not easy. Change is hard. It's uncomfortable. It requires you to face your fears and step outside of your comfort zone. But I'll tell you this, the people who succeed in life aren't the ones who have it all figured out from the start. They're the ones who are willing to adapt. They're the ones who understand that it's not about avoiding failure, it's about learning how to rise from it. It's about facing challenges head-on and saying, I might not have all the answers, but I know I'm strong enough to keep moving forward. What if by simply embracing uncertainty, by simply allowing yourself to adapt to whatever comes next, you could unlock 10 years of growth in one day? What if today is the day you stop fearing change and start welcoming it? What if you stop seeing the obstacles in your life as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities to grow? Think about it. The world is constantly changing. Technology, culture, the economy, they're all evolving faster than we can keep up. If you're not willing to adapt to these changes, you're going to get left behind. But if you learn to navigate them, if you learn to flow with the changes and not resist them, you're going to find yourself growing in ways you never thought possible. You'll be moving forward while others are standing still, waiting for things to get back to normal. And here's the thing, there is no going back to normal. Normal is just an illusion. The world is always changing, always moving forward, and you need to be right there with it. You can't afford to sit on the sidelines waiting for the world to slow down. If you want to make progress, if you want to see growth, you've got to embrace the journey, embrace the changes, and adapt to the new reality. So ask yourself, what would it take for you to step into the unknown today? What would it take for you to adapt to the changes you've been resisting? And what could you accomplish if you allowed yourself to evolve, to grow, and to take that first step into the future? You don't have to have all the answers right now. You just have to be open to the journey. And if you do that, if you embrace the uncertainty and keep moving forward, you just might unlock something greater than you ever imagined. Let me tell you something that you already know deep down. You can't think your way to progress. You can't just sit there daydreaming about the life you want, hoping it's going to fall into your lap. I don't care how big your vision is or how beautiful your dreams are. You've got to act. You have to get up, get moving, and take action. And don't tell me you're waiting for the right moment, because the truth is, the right moment is right now. Action is the bridge between where you are today and where you want to be. You can talk all day about your goals, your dreams, your vision for the future, but at the end of the day, talk is cheap. What separates the people who achieve from the ones who don't is the willingness to take action. It's the courage to step forward, even when you don't have all the answers, even when the path ahead is unclear. Because if you wait for everything to make sense, if you wait for everything to line up perfectly, you'll be waiting forever. Progress doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who move. I know too many people who spend years talking about what they're going to do, but they never take the first step. They say, one day I'll start my business. One day I'll write that book. One day I'll take that trip. But you know what? One day never comes. So while they're talking, others are doing. They're taking action, no matter how small the step, no matter how uncertain the road ahead. And every time they take a step, they're getting closer. They're making progress. They're moving forward. You've got to understand something. It's the small steps, the seemingly insignificant actions that add up over time. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. When you take action, you're telling the world that you're serious about your dreams. You're showing up for yourself. And every time you take action, you're one step closer to becoming the person you want to be. You've got to be willing to act, even when you don't have everything figured out. Look at Malala Yousafzai. Here's a young woman who, at an age when most people are still figuring out who they are, took action in the face of extreme danger. She stood up for something that was bigger than herself, education for girls. And what happened to her? She was shot for speaking out. She was attacked for daring to stand up for the rights of girls to receive an education. Now you would think that something like that would crush a person. You'd think that would be the end of her journey. But Malala didn't let that stop her. Instead, she used it as fuel to amplify her voice. She took her pain and turned it into power. She became one of the most influential advocates for girls' education worldwide. Think about that for a second. A young girl, shot for speaking up, used her experience, her action, to create a movement. Her tragedy became an opportunity. And you want to know why? Because she didn't just sit there and wait for someone else to fix the problem. She acted, she stood up, she spoke out, and she kept going. That's what action does. It transforms pain into purpose, obstacles into opportunities. You can't sit on the sidelines and expect change to happen. You can't wait for the world to give you permission. You have to take the first step. You have to take action, even when the path isn't clear, even when the journey seems daunting, because what's waiting for you on the other side of that action is the person you're meant to be. Now, I know action isn't always easy. If it were, everyone would be doing it. Action takes courage. It takes discipline. It takes a willingness to get uncomfortable, to step into the unknown, and to trust that every step, no matter how small, will lead you to something greater. But here's the thing. It's the most powerful tool you have. You have the power to change your life, to transform your circumstances, and it all begins with one simple thing: action. So ask yourself, what will you do today? What's the first step you can take toward the person you want to become? Maybe it's making that phone call you've been putting off. Maybe it's signing up for that course you've been thinking about. Maybe it's just getting out of your own head and starting. Whatever it is, take that step, because the longer you wait, the longer you're postponing your future. Every moment you spend thinking maybe tomorrow is a moment you could have used to make progress. What you do today matters. The actions you take right now will shape the life you'll have tomorrow. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to see the success you've been dreaming about, you've got to take that first step. Don't wait for the world to give you permission. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is now. So let me ask you again, what are you going to do today to move forward? What's your first step? Don't overthink it, just act. That's the power you have, the power of action. When you make that move, no matter how small, you're on your way, and step by step, you'll get closer to the person you've always wanted to be. But none of that happens without action. So take it. Take that first step. Make it count. Let me ask you something. What are you really afraid of? I'm talking about that fear that creeps into your mind when you think about stepping outside your comfort zone, the fear that makes you hesitate, makes you second-guess yourself, makes you wonder if you're really capable of going after what you want. That fear that whispers to you, telling you to stay where you are, telling you to play it safe, telling you that you're not ready for what's next. Let me tell you something about fear. It's the silent thief of progress. It's the one thing that can keep you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Fear is what holds you in place, in the safe zone, in the comfortable place where growth doesn't happen. Fear is the thing that tells you that you're not enough, that you don't have what it takes. It will make you question your worth. It will make you question your abilities. It will hold you back from taking that first step into something greater. But let me remind you of something. Fear is a liar. It will tell you that you're not ready, that you don't have the skills, the knowledge, the experience. It will tell you, what if it doesn't work? What if you fail? What if you look foolish? But let me ask you this, what if it works? What if you succeed? What if you surprise yourself and everyone around you? What if today is the day you break free from fear and start moving toward everything you've ever dreamed of? You see, fear can be paralyzing, but it doesn't have to be. It's a part of the process. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, fear is going to be there. It's going to try to stop you. It's going to try to hold you down. But here's the thing. You have the power to decide what fear does to you. Fear doesn't control you. You control fear. You have the power to look fear in the face and say, you don't get to decide my future, I do. Let me give you an example. Think about J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon, she was just a woman with a dream. She had this story, this incredible world she wanted to create, but she was facing rejection after rejection. She went to publisher after publisher, and every single one of them turned her down. They told her it wouldn't work, that people weren't interested in her story, that she wasn't good enough. Can you imagine how easy it would have been for her to give up? She could have listened to the fear, listened to those voices telling her, you're not enough, this is never going to happen. She could have folded. She could have let fear and rejection decide her future. But instead, she did something powerful. She ignored the fear. She ignored the rejection. She kept going. And eventually, one publisher said yes. That yes changed her life. Today, J.K. Rowling is one of the most successful authors of all time. She went from being a single mother on welfare to becoming a global icon. But the difference between where she started and where she ended up was that she didn't let fear dictate her journey. She kept pushing, kept writing, kept believing in herself even when everyone else said no. You gotta understand that fear is real. It's not something you can just wish away, and it's not something that's going to disappear just because you want it to. But the key is knowing that fear doesn't control you. Fear doesn't get to decide who you become or what you do with your life. You decide that. You are in control. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Overcoming fear takes work. It takes courage. It takes stepping into the unknown, into the discomfort, into the uncertainty. And yes, there will be moments where you feel like you're not good enough, where you feel like you don't belong, where you question your ability to succeed. That's the nature of fear. It makes you question everything, including yourself. But here's the truth. On the other side of fear is everything you've ever wanted. Everything. But you've got to move through the fear to get there. You've got to act in spite of it. So let me ask you, what would you do today if you weren't afraid? What would you do if you allowed yourself to stop worrying about the what-ifs and just started? What would happen if you decided that fear was no longer going to hold you back, that you were going to move forward in spite of it? Because that's where growth happens. That's where success is born, on the other side of fear. You've got to be willing to face it head on. You've got to be willing to take that step, even when you don't know exactly what the next step looks like. Fear is not there to stop you. It's there to test you. It's there to see if you have the courage to keep going, even when it feels like everything is stacked against you. And I'm telling you right now, you have that courage. You have everything you need to overcome whatever fear stands in your way. Fear doesn't define you. It's just a feeling. And feelings don't control you unless you let them. So today, right now, choose to break free from fear. Choose to take that step, no matter how small, because every step you take is a victory. And every victory you claim gets you one step closer to the person you were always meant to be. So don't let fear win. Don't let it take away your dreams, your potential, your future. You've got what it takes to overcome it, and it's time to show up, show out, and take what's yours. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the fear you allow to control you. Let go of that fear, and you'll unlock a future beyond your wildest imagination. Listen closely, because I want to make sure you hear me loud and clear. 10 years of progress isn't something that's far off in the future. It's not some distant dream that you can only hope for one day. No, 10 years of progress is right in front of you. It's right here in every single choice you make, starting today. Right now, you are standing at a crossroads, and you have the power to decide, will today be just another ordinary day, or will today be the day that changes everything? The day you take control, the day you choose to step into the future you've been waiting for. Let me remind you of something. You have everything you need to change your life. You've got the tools, the strength, the courage, and most importantly, the power to transform your future. The power of intention, the power of mindset, the power of adaptability, the power of action, the power of overcoming fear. All of that is within your reach. It's not some abstract concept or something you have to wait years to acquire. It's already inside you, and today, right now, you can start using it. When I say you've got the tools, I mean it. Every single one of you has within you the ability to take control of your life, to look at your circumstances and say, this doesn't define me. This is not where my story ends. It doesn't matter where you are right now. What matters is what you're going to do with the moment you have right in front of you. The decisions you make today will shape the life you'll have tomorrow. And I need you to understand this. The way you think, the way you act, the way you adapt to life's challenges, these are the things that will determine your future. This isn't about waiting for the stars to align. This isn't about waiting for the perfect opportunity to come knocking on your door. No. The opportunity is here, right now. The opportunity is in this moment, in the choices you make today, in the actions you take, in the mindset you choose to carry with you. You can decide right now that today will be the day you start moving toward everything you've ever wanted. You can choose to be intentional about it. You can choose to move forward, no matter how small the step is. You can choose to embrace the fear, push through it, and come out stronger on the other side. Let me tell you, I've seen it happen over and over again. I've seen people with nothing but a dream and a determination to make it come true, take that first step, and then another, and then another, and every time they moved forward, they got closer to their goal. The progress didn't come all at once, and it didn't come without obstacles, but it came because they didn't wait for tomorrow. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They made today the moment that changed everything. And here's the thing, you don't have to wait for someone else to give you permission. You don't have to wait for some magical moment to come along. It's already here, right now, today. You are the one who decides how your story unfolds. You are the one who gets to say, this is where I begin. This is where I take control. So I'm asking you, what will you do with today? What will you choose to believe? Will you choose to believe that you can move forward? That you can change your circumstances? That you can create the life you've always dreamed of? It's not easy, I know. The world will throw challenges at you. Life will test you. But I'm telling you, you are capable of handling it. You are capable of stepping into the life you've always wanted. You just have to make the choice to do it. You've already been given everything you need to succeed. Now it's up to you to make it happen. Let me say it again. This is your time. This is your moment to shine. You've already been equipped with everything you need to take that first step. And that's the most important thing. Don't worry about the second, the third, or the 100th step. Focus on the first one. Get moving. Make today count. Don't let this moment slip by because you're waiting for tomorrow. The future is in your hands, and it starts right now. So let me ask you one last time. What will you do today? Will you let today slip by as just another day? Or will you choose to take action? Will you choose to believe in yourself, in your ability to adapt, in your power to overcome fear, and in your capacity to succeed? Will you step into the life you've always dreamed of? Because I'm telling you right now, you've already begun. The moment you decided to show up, to believe in yourself, to take that first step, you've already set things in motion. So keep going, keep moving forward, keep making today count, because that's how you'll turn 10 years of progress into one day. Thank you.